It's a story that comes from the community.
We want to be able to visually represent a story that is very important to the history here in Mobile.
And still lives in it today.
Getting oral histories, interviewing on cameras, descendants of some of the survivors of the Clotilda.
That story, 110, the last enslaved Africans brought to America.
We call it Project 110, and we are working on a historical documentary on the 110 Africans brought here on the slave ship Clotilda.
It begins in Africa, sails across the Atlantic, and lands here in Mobile County. These 4 local professors say it's a narrative that's always been around but simply lacked exposure.
That journey of survival and persistence is such an important story. That is the American story, right? It's that survival and that persistence of the African American community as we know it now.
And we want to hear their stories. We want to hear what's been passed down to them and what's been a part of their family, their traditions, and their way of life, and how this story has impacted over time and over generations.
The project will include a documentary film, an art exhibit, an oral history, a poetry book, and a K-12 curriculum. The group is planning to submit the curriculum to the state to be included in schools. Dr. Pamela Moore says this is a way to show the significance of Mobile in our nation's history.
It's very interesting to develop a product that can go out to schools that talk about things that are local. So often with history you find out about things that happen in other places, but we are truly excited that we are the home of this type of history.
Even though the documentary is several months away from being finished, this group says the journey so far has been an eye-opening experience that they can't wait to show the world.
It's going to have significant impact, you know, on how we view other historical artifacts, right? So you're going to become aware of the 110. It makes you go into Oakley and see it in a different way. You go down, I don't know, what's it, Royal Street, and you see a marker that says slave market, and now you have a project that's sort of putting more flesh on that.
Toy Thornton, Fox 10 News.